Hey, so I had an interesting thought today, as in not my size. So I'm just like, okay, where am I going with this now? So sometimes like we see things that we really like and turns out they just aren't our size. They're too small or they're too big or your body doesn't feel the same way anymore. It doesn't fit into the clothes you had before. And I'm just like, so what? Because, sometimes I look at like a lot of these cute shoes that I see in like different groups since like people looking to, you know, I mostly look at my buy nothing groups for this kind of stuff. And, you know, I have big feet. I like wear like I think in women it's like a 10 wide, but I mostly buy men's shoes because men's shoes actually give me more width than female shoes. So I'm just like, like when I see like all different things and like things look very cute and some things they just don't make for my size. And if you're American and if you ever tried anything with like Asian sizing, yeah, no, I don't even fit an XL in like Asian sizing. I'm just like, ugh. Yeah, it would not be healthy for me to get that thin based on my body and bone composition. But anyway, so I know like people often freak out like about clothes not fitting right or like and it's just like, I get it because it's like your body changes all the time. My body mostly tends to change like when there's inflammation in my body. So I don't really experience a lot of weight fluctuations, but I do experience things where it's like, oh, there's extra inflammation, where it's like I'm eating foods that I know aren't as good for me, but at the same time, it's like, but I want to eat it. And then I've noticed, oh, these shorts or these pants are really tight now. And I'm just like, oh, and then it's like I go back to more of my regular eating habits and within 2 weeks I can fit into those pants again. And sometimes I think that, I think it's an identity thing where people get freaked out when, you know, it's the wrong size, that I no longer fit this. And I want to let you know that it's okay because if you're a female, especially in Western culture, you have all these brands. It is confusing. I envy the guys here because it's like for pants, they are measurements based on actual measurements. Because it's just like, oh, 32 waistband and 30 length and 30 length. You know exactly what you're getting. Women's jeans, you have no clue. Like literally I've been like around the same size pretty much most of my adult life, and I've had pants as big as like a 9 and I've worn pants as small as a size 3, and very little has changed in my body. It's so confusing, and then things don't quite fit right because they fit certain places and they don't fit other places, and it kind of makes you go into like with life, it's just like I feel like this life doesn't fit me. Like you're doing all this, like you have all these expectations and you're trying to better yourself, whether it's spiritually, financially, all of the above, and it's just like this life doesn't fit me anymore. Like these clothes don't fit. And it's kind of jarring sometimes because you had like this identity, and there are just times you just grow out of things, and then there are just times where it's just like you just let go of a lot of stuff and there's so much more room in like what you're doing. And I just find that really really interesting, like just bringing that like all together. I'm just like, huh, isn't that interesting? Like you have been working on yourself so much that you don't fit this identity anymore. Like this identity is too small for you. And I'm just like, oh, or maybe the opposite has happened where well, I won't necessarily say opposite, but let's what's a different way of talking about this, cuz it's not really opposite, it's just a different perspective, because sometimes you have to really get down to your core, get rid of all the fluff stuff. And for some people it change they their lifestyle goes down to what they're accustomed to, like maybe it was because of divorce, or maybe because there was a medical thing, and like you just had to get rid of all the nonsense stuff, and then your life just got very small, versus some people, they do that and their life gets very big. it all depends. We're all on different journeys. We're all meant to learn different things, and no judgment one way or the other, because all it was just like moving you to where you need to go. Rather, it's you're getting rid of all the unnecessary things anymore, or it's just like sometimes it's a little bit, sometimes it's a lot. For some people, it's just like a lot of relationships are no longer needed. A lot of clothes are no longer needed. A lot of businesses and the habits are no longer needed. And it's okay that it isn't your size anymore. It's totally okay. And I'm just like, huh. I never thought of it that way until like today. And I'm just like getting all this information today. I'm just like, isn't that interesting? So it's like we get so obsessed with how our lives are supposed to be. It's because it's like it's the identity we built ourselves on. So I'm just gonna invite you, because it's totally up to you if you do this or not. Just see where you are, and just like, are you okay with maybe shifting your identity, even if it's just a little bit? And that's okay if it's just a little bit. Like maybe you can't handle the 180 your life's supposed to be. Maybe you can't imagine moving off to like Scotland and like running like a bed and breakfast somewhere. Like I get that. Like majority of people are not just going to drop everything at the drop of a hat and go to a foreign country and figure it out there. That's not most people. I'm sure there are some, but I'm not one of those people. I'm not. I can't just drop everything and just go there. It's like I need a little bit more security to make me feel better. But there are some people that can do that. That's just like, we're just gonna go and figure it out. I think the paradigms we have, if it feels better doing it when you're younger, because there's less risk, there's less things we have to be accountable for. There's just less stuff you have to do. Is like it's easy to be riskier when you're younger, versus as you mature in age, you start thinking of different things, and it's just like, what adventure you want to do, what adventure you want to take on. Maybe you do things at a slower pace, maybe you do things at a faster pace, and maybe you have boom 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 in between. You go back and forth. And if your life doesn't fit your style anymore, if it's the wrong size, that could be a good thing. Maybe you're meant for something better. Maybe, you need something new. Maybe like you need to stop wearing that 20-year-old dress that doesn't fit you anymore. It doesn't look flattering for you anymore. It's time to like wear something that like fully encompasses who you are and holds you in all the right places. And I'm just going with the clothes thing because I kind of started off with clothes, but it's just like it's okay to want something different. Like I know it can be horrifying where it's just like, oh, this doesn't fit anymore, this isn't working out, or things feel like they're going out of control. I just want to let you know it's okay. We all go through that at some point of our lives. And some of us, it's like with lifetimes, some of us lifestyles, sometimes it's like relationships, when there are times when you grow out of certain relationships. I mean, rather they're romantic, they could be platonic, they could be with family. There's all types of reasons. I mean, we're all here learning different things on this, you know. I mean, isn't it crazy that we're just little beings on this giant blue marble that's like circling around a sun, that's circling around a galaxy, that's circling around the Milky Way, that's also part of another. I'm not an astronomer, but we are on a living spaceship that's spinning all the time that we don't even feel the spin. Isn't that interesting? Like we are on like an orb that spins and we don't feel the rotation of it all, but it's still happening. I don't know. Stuff just comes in my head sometimes. And it's just like it's okay, because even when we think we are still, we're technically not still, because we're still spinning with this orb. And sometimes you just got to go with the flow, and you can go against the current, and it might feel weird, but sometimes you go with the current, and sometimes you don't know what to do. I mean, salmon swim against the current all the time when it's that time of year when they're mating season. And I think I'm getting slightly derailed. I think my brain's starting to pick up on some other lesson that's coming up and trying to find a way to weave it in. I don't know where it's going right now. But, we all have like these things happening. And it's okay that things change. Things are not always meant to be the same. Because if they were, it would be boring. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be bored all the time. Like, my mind tends to go very fast and it likes to stay engaged. And, and there's some people that do like that predictability, but at the same time, you can't predict everything. Like our weather here is very chaotic. Um, and you could say all types of things where it's global warming, it's humanity's pollution and actions, and it's a lot of stuff. But if you like think about like our little orb goes through so many extremes of different things that our bodies have acclimated to specific regions based on what's going on. And now that we are mixing cultures and everything else, it gets a little confusing sometimes where it's just like, my body's meant to do this, but I'm doing this. And it's like, how do we figure it out? And it's okay. Like, there are just some things like if you live by the equator, you get a lot more sunlight versus if you live in like a northern region, like close to the Arctics or like the poles, there's less UV rays. So you're just exposed to less sunlight. And it's okay. Like, and we're human and we have the capacity to move at alarming fasting rates compared to centuries, millennia ago. Like, as far as I know, humanities by their own devices, could not be moving around as much as we do now. And it's just like, we could just transport ourselves to different places. And as we transport ourselves to different places, what we wear, how we are, might not fit in to where we are. And that's okay. Like when I was in Hawaii, I wasn't wearing pants. I only wore pants coming in because I was in the airport and on a plane and planes are cold. But it's just like I wasn't concerned about wearing pants. I wasn't concerned about socks. I wasn't concerned about, sweaters. The vibe changes based on where you are, and that's okay. And obviously, when I came back home from Hawaii, I'm not wearing the tank tops and the shorts and the bathing suits all the while because the environment's changing, and you have to be okay with your identity changing, your outfits changing based on where you are, whether it's physically or emotionally, spiritually, all the other isms that there are, because we're all doing something different and we're all going to have some fun with it. And that's it for today. And I hope you have a great and wonderful day. Okay.